Stories of bravery, luck, and the magic of the unknown have traveled through centuries, passed from mouth to mouth, shaping cultures and inspiring dreams. Among the most beloved English fairy tales is Jack and the Beanstalk, a tale of a poor boy who dares to trade a cow for beans and ends up climbing into a world of giants and wonders. This isn't just a children's tale, it's a story full of hidden meanings, lessons, and imagination. Today, let's dive deep into the magical journey of Jack and explore why this English folktale still captivates the world. Jack's humble beginnings. Jack was a poor boy who lived with his widowed mother in a small, run-down cottage in rural England. Their only possession of value was a cow, the only source of milk and a meager livelihood. But as times grew harsher, the cow stopped giving milk, and Jack's mother decided there was no choice but to sell her. With heavy hearts, they prepared for the market, hoping to get enough coins to survive. The mysterious stranger and the magic beans. On his way to the market, Jack encountered a strange old man with twinkling eyes and a bag in his hand. Instead of offering money, the man proposed something odd. He would trade Jack the cow for just a handful of magic beans. Though it seemed foolish, Jack felt an unusual pull toward the offer. Trusting his instincts, or perhaps his curiosity, he accepted the trade, returning home proudly with the beans. His mother, furious at his foolishness, threw the beans out the window, scolding Jack for his naivety. The miracle of the beanstalk. That night, something extraordinary happened. The beans took root and grew into a massive beanstalk that reached high into the clouds, twisting and spiraling toward the sky. By morning, the towering green giant loomed over their cottage. Jack's eyes widened in awe, and despite his mother's warnings, he felt compelled to climb it. This was no ordinary plant, it was a gateway to something far greater. Climbing into the unknown, Jack began his climb, gripping the thick vines, higher and higher until the ground below disappeared. Hours passed as he pulled himself toward the clouds, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. When he finally reached the top, he found himself in a land unlike any he had ever seen. A place of giants, castles, and treasures beyond imagination. The giant's castle. In this new world, Jack discovered a magnificent castle that stood taller than any building he had ever seen. He cautiously approached, sneaking inside when the enormous doors creaked open. The interior was filled with treasures, golden coins, magical objects, and the scent of roasted food so large it could feed dozens. But soon, the ground shook. A deep, booming voice echoed through the hall. Fee-fi-fo-fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. The giant and his treasures. The castle belonged to a fearsome giant who lived with his wife. The giant was cruel, greedy, and loved devouring humans who dared to trespass. His wife, kinder in nature, pitied Jack and allowed him to hide. Jack's eyes fell on a magical hen that laid golden eggs, a harp that could sing by itself, and piles of gold. Each treasure called out to him, promising a better life for him and his mother. Jack's courage grew with each visit as he began planning to steal them. Jack's first escape. One night, when the giant fell asleep after feasting, Jack quietly stole the hen that laid golden eggs. Trembling with fear, he crept out of the castle and raced down the beanstalk. The hen squawked softly in his arms, but Jack held it tight until he reached home. His mother gasped at the sight of the magical bird, and together they marveled at their sudden change in fortune. Yet Jack's curiosity still burned. What more wonders awaited him? Above the clouds, the harp of enchantment. Driven by courage and greed, Jack climbed the beanstalk again. This time, he went after the magical harp that could play by itself. Slipping into the castle once more, Jack watched the harp strum beautiful melodies that filled the air with enchantment. But as he grabbed it, the harp cried out in a voice of its own, waking the giant. Rage filled the castle as the ground thundered with his steps. Jack sprinted, clutching the harp as the giant roared behind him. The final chase. Jack rushed to the beanstalk, sliding and scrambling downward as the giant thundered after him. The beanstalk shook under the weight of the monster as Jack shouted for his mother to bring an axe. With the giant nearly upon him, Jack swung with all his might, chopping the beanstalk. With a final crash, the massive plant toppled, and the giant fell to his doom, disappearing into the earth with a thunderous roar. A new beginning. With the giant defeated and his treasures secured, Jack and his mother no longer lived in poverty. They had gold from the magical hen, music from the harp, and a life of safety and joy. But more than wealth, Jack gained courage and wisdom from his daring journey. The tale became a symbol of bravery, cleverness, and the triumph of the underdog, a poor boy who dared to reach for the sky and found a destiny beyond his wildest dreams. The deeper meaning of the tale. At its heart, Jack and the Beanstalk is not just about riches or defeating a giant. It is a tale of risk, courage, and transformation. The beanstalk represents opportunities that rise from the unexpected, while the giant symbolizes overwhelming obstacles. Jack teaches us that even in the face of danger, those who dare to climb can find treasures of fortune, courage, and wisdom. This English fairy tale continues to inspire, reminding us that magic often lies just beyond the clouds, waiting for the brave to seek it.